What differs this scene from this?
Where are you riding?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
It's my plan.
For what?
They feel different, don't they? It's two contrasting tones and two juxtaposing experiences. One is loud, lively, and every part of the frame is utilized. The other is quiet, brooding, takes its time, and is focused on the whole picture. One is maximalist and the other is minimalist. How do they both utilize these approaches to elicit a stronger response to the story? How do they differ? How are they similar? Can two films address similar stories through two stylistic approaches and still work? Or can a story only be told through one approach? Well, let's dive into it. Being a maximalist filmmaker means utilizing every moving part of filmmaking. From Baz Luhrmann to Gaspar Noé, maximalist filmmakers often explore how immersive filmmaking means being stimulating, grand, and distinct. Maximalist filmmaking is the practice of engaging with the story both physically and visually. It's kinetic, explosive, and ever-moving. It's massive in some form, whether in scale or feel, and it creates a distinct experience that engages all your senses and strengthens an idea, message, or theme that a script can only suggest. Being a minimalist is all about timing and intentionality. It's about choosing your moments and tools at the right time to bring focus to a bigger picture. From Abbas Kiarostami to Chantal Akerman, minimalist filmmakers ground the film in its story and characters, allowing the style to serve as supporting beams rather than the primary focus. Minimalist filmmaking is immersion through poetry, patience, and control. It's delicate and unfiltered. Though it might be misinterpreted as boring or pretentious, it shows life as it is and is more realistic than anything else. Where the minimalist focuses on how a personal story can fit into the real world, the maximalist demands that the whole world be dictated by the personal lens of the character or the story. I wouldn't go as far as to say that one is objective and one is subjective, but maximalism definitely draws from a more emotional and hyper-stylized place. In contrast, minimalism is more grounded in our reality and how we actually view things. Take Kobayashi's Kwaidan, for example. The film is a horror anthology of 4 Japanese folktales. The sets mirror the story's dramatic elements, and the colors are highly exaggerated to amplify each story's distinct mood. The backdrops create the sense that it's a stage play, linking it to theater and reminding us of the familiarity of traditional storytelling. This is how maximalism is pushed to create a logic suited only to the world it inhabits, and how it immerses you in it. Then take Wender's Wings of Desire, a simple film that takes the mystical concept of angels into the logic of our world. The angels aren't seen with actual wings unless superimposed for a few seconds. They are visible to the audience but invisible to the characters within the film. They are dressed in human clothing, not hovering above them, but simply seated or walking alongside the human characters. When they speak to each other, it's just another mundane conversation. And when they talk to unknowing humans, it isn't met with some heavenly orchestra or poetic prayer, it's in whispers. This is how minimalism takes on a grand concept and grounds it in our reality, allowing the familiarity of everyday life to reinforce further the idea that a faithful world is casually embedded in ours. Where Kwaidan pushes its extremes to immerse you into a fantastical world, Wings of Desire grounds its mystical means into our own world and logic for a better grasp at understanding the story. There is no better or worse approach. They both ultimately employ their own styles for the same purpose, to immerse us. Now let's examine how a similar purpose can lead to completely different choices. When it comes to maximalism and choosing which aspects of the protagonist to reflect, the best piece to utilize is the mind. The mind is where the most happens. It plays tricks on you and is disorganized and unpredictable. Maximalism is the most effective tool for depicting it. It can capture the mess and the frenzy in a way that minimalism simply can't. Movies such as Enter the Void, Bardo, and Mishima proves this. All three films approach the concept of one man's understanding of their impending death. Enter the Void quite literally enters the mind of our protagonist after his death, and we, with him, go through the aftermath of his death as a floating entity. Bardo is about a filmmaker losing grip on his reality as he faces an existential crisis, and Mishima is a meditation on a dead author and how the things in his life formed the man he was. All three films are hyper-stylized, whether through rapid, unconventional camera techniques accompanied by all-encompassing, anxiety-inducing music, or through dramatic sets and surrealistic visuals that reflect the creative mind. All three films use camera, production, and sound design, cinematography, performance, including choreography, and basically everything in a filmmaker's toolkit to really embody our characters and their mind, how it functions, how it sees the world, and how it processes. It mimics the characters' haphazard thinking and visually portrays their creativity and anxiety. The Maximalist approach aligns perfectly with these characters' mental load. Its Maximalist approach further emphasizes our main character and his worldview, and how this view shapes our understanding of the story itself. However, in the context of minimalism, the soul is the most appropriate element. The soul is quiet, it hides behind the mind, but is the most certain piece of our subconscious. Where the mind goes back and forth wondering about our true intention, the soul has already figured it out. The soul deals with the emotional load that our mind rationalizes, and the soul deals with and treats everything delicately and slowly, two things for which minimalism works best in. Taste of Cherry, Manchester by the Sea, and Beau Travail all understand and undertake this perfectly. All three films take on the broken soul. Taste of Cherry covers a suicidal man trying to find someone to help him with his suicide plan. Manchester by the Sea takes us on a journey of grief, and Beau Travail is a close look at a military troop slowly breaking apart. Where the mind panics and wanders in circles, the soul quietly breaks. These three films do just the same. From slow takes in which nothing happens, to long sequences in which no dialogue is spoken, to peak moments in which emotions are depicted through stares and not breakdowns. These films take on these characters' modest souls. The camera takes bold decisions, but they are always embedded into the scenes seamlessly, whether that's the use of lines to create a division in human connection, or the slightly off-putting composition to mimic a character's brokenness being hidden by their strength, or the use of foreground and background and angles to reflect the shifting power dynamics between characters. The minimalist choices define the characters completely in a single shot, yet they never draw undue attention to themselves, allowing the characters' emotional struggles to be depicted as an invisible, silent, yet palpable feeling. It's there, but it flies over most people's heads. We can sense something is off, but we can't quite put our finger on it, which only mimics what it's like when you do confront someone you know in real life who is struggling. You see the signs, but you never really know. What maximalists tend to excel at is consistency of tone, especially when said tone is to only further immerse you back into the story's overall theme. Requiem for a Dream, Do the Right Thing, and Bram Stoker's Dracula are all films that really push the boundaries of how maximalism enforces a powerful theme without being too, okay, we get it. In Requiem for a Dream, we go through the harrowing journey of three people and their addictions. The reason why so many people can't rewatch this film and call it the ultimate anti-drug film is because of its all-enveloping anxiety and despairing feel. Aronofsky combined sound design with dizzying editing, hypnotic camera work, and intense performance to construct a film that immerses the viewer into the despondent world of drugs and their side effects, thereby traumatizing viewers enough to never even try dipping their toes into that world. In Do the Right Thing, Spike Lee takes us to a neighborhood where racial tensions are rising amidst the summer heat. What makes this film a classic is Lee's use of editing and visual motifs to exemplify the rising tensions in both the weather and the community. Throughout the film, Lee pushes these technical choices to a point where the audience too feels the heat and stress emanating from the scene, as well as the apprehension and discomfort of the confrontations. Even the use of color intensifies everything around it, especially the prevalent oranges, reds, and yellows, further foreshadowing the rising explosiveness to come. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Coppola tells the classic Gothic love story through visual motifs of love and lust. Coppola draws back to German Expressionism through his use of shadows and contrast, particularly in the color red, which appears more vivid against the desaturated sets and costumes. Coppola immerses us in a Gothic melodramatic world with lighting and sets and costumes all being pushed to the extreme to really sell the narrative and further dramatize Dracula's bloodlust. All three films' maximalist approach exposes you to uncomfortable situations and allows the filmmaking techniques to accentuate the film's uneasiness. The three films utilize their technical elements to heighten tension in the audience and to place them in a state of such discomfort that it leaves them with no choice but to hear the message the directors intend to convey. While Maximalists expose and maintain their tone quite well, Minimalists do an excellent job of building tone and tension. If anything, minimalism only makes a stronger case when something does go awry. In Le Bon Hur, Jean Dielman, and Dogville, things that start off as routine are disrupted by revelations in the story, which then only leads to even worse things happening that throw all three films out of their usual world of banality and normalcy. The use of minimalism makes this narrative juxtaposition all that palpable. Le Bon Hur and Jean Dielman ultimately work with the same sudden, unexpected ending. Though narratively different, both come to an end no one would expect from such seemingly calm films. If both films took the maximalist approach in which tension increasingly develops and is felt, then the ending wouldn't be one that would shock us, but something we'd predict. But in the beauty of minimalism, not only are we shocked, but this very reaction also conjures a deeper understanding of the story's overall theme. In Le Bon Hur, we watch a seemingly happy family. Everything is shot in a naturalistic style, is minimal and quiet even. But once the ending comes, the rose-colored glasses are shattered. Nothing is as it seems, and we question whether the entire film was a lie to begin with. The very nature of the film being minimalist, everything seeming mundane, routine, and nothing out of the ordinary, is a commentary on its own. And the ending only confirms this. It shows us that we are neglecting the truth just as much as the father neglects his marriage. The same logic is applied to Jean Dielman, where many like to simplify the film as merely a woman doing chores for 3 hours and a half. I like to see it as a film that depicts how confinement, labor systems built by the patriarchy, and repression leads to madness. The way the camera rarely tilts or pans, remaining static, and forcing us to watch a woman do chores is in its own way a rebellion against the audience's desire. The minimalist to nearly nothing approach is merely a means of eliciting frustration in us, prompting us to desire more and thereby mimicking our protagonist's own desires. So when the ending unfolds, it is incredibly shocking. The degree of its shock underscores how starved we were for any new change and thus reinforces the overall theme that repression leads to insanity. And with Dogville, we learn about the power of juxtaposition. The film is quite possibly the most minimalist film out there. One location, no sets, no walls, no doors, just a soundstage and sound effects with a couple props. What Dogville does wonderfully is depict evil in places that seem ordinary, and how power dynamics can be the seeds of such evil. The minimal sets not only engage you in a way that creatively uses your imagination, but also serves as a commentary on themselves. You see into every room, every house, everything is out there open to see. And yet no one's real personality is ever that transparent. It takes the saying, you never see what's going on behind closed doors, literally, using minimal sets to support a script that already speaks for itself. Conclusively, minimalism demonstrates that the story itself can communicate all it needs to. The filmmaker needs only to provide a work that confirms and supports its ideas, whereas maximalism believes it needs to match the script's severity and intensity. There is no right or wrong here. Minimalism and maximalism both have their time and place in cinema. Some films demand everything and others require very little. It's just a matter of choosing which is right for what kind of story. What are some of your favorite maximalist and minimalist films?